Hello, hello. How are you all? All right, good to see you. Good to see you. Well, I can't see any of you, so this is all. It's gonna have to be. Sorry, Dave's not with us. The usual weekly no Dave. So sorry about that. So it's going to only be half as good or a quarter as good. Yes. Well, we'll just see. A few more people jump on. Alison, hello, Alison. Nice to see you. It's been a week. It's been an eventful week. It's been a good week. It's been some stunning weather, and now it is just stormy. There's your weather forecast. There's a palm tree, and there's a jigsaw puzzle I stuck up. Put that one up. That was a jigsaw puzzle, and it's just it's stormy weather, but it's lovely down here in Cornwall. I'll just glance on the side that there's an article in the Cornish Life magazine. You know, the glossy posh ones in the front. I think they do obviously do it for every county there is. I know Devon Life when I was there. So there's an article on me in there that I'll just literally brush on because we're on a quarter in a while. I hope you're well. We've missed you. Ben in knots. Okay. We've missed you, Ben. He believes me. I know. Stephanie, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Let's hope we can brighten up your life just a little bit, a tad, tiny bit. Mick, Mick doesn't even need his name title up there, does he? If he up, Harry. Good to see you. Good to see you, Mick. And Mick's a thoroughly former police officer, dog handler. Many moons ago, Ben, you'll be interested. He named his dog after you, but in advance. His dog was named Ben. Thank you, Rose. I am well. I'm really well. Got a few things to talk about today. Yeah, you see, it's even up to north. See, Nor, my beautiful friend, good friend, if you see what I mean. She is Newcastle, and she told me off. We don't say up to north up here in Newcastle. We say up north. But in Newcastle, they stick in another syllable, don't they? And I can't do an accent, so I'm not going to. But instead of sure, you say, yeah, sure. They go, sure. Anyway, it's fine. I don't know how they learn syllables in school because Newcastle, you stick in another syllable. But I am drinking Rington's tea that Nor sent down to my mum and biscuits. And I've got to say, the tea's good. Might panic. There's some competition. The tea is blooming good. Ben, exciting. Well done. Which one were you doing? Are you doing the apprentice one, or did you do the degree before? Or are you doing, which one are you doing? Because Ben, if you just give an idea, have you got family? Are you single? Just so I know, because I'm finding that the apprenticeship one, where you have to get a degree as you go along, is very taxing on people who've got their own families and things like that still. Yes, thank you. This backdrop is not a prison. I haven't been sent to prison in my castle, but it is the front of it's the front of the lodge. And now it's got a veranda, so the outside of it is now indoors. This door here is, you could probably just see it. Oh, it's a really solid wooden door with studs and things like that. Phenomenal door to protect such a small building. But just put that one up again, sorry. I'm just going to get rid of this is the ultimate professionalism, isn't it? But I'm just going to get rid of that. So yeah, no, I'm good. It's been an interesting week. People know that I've had a few changes over the last few months. Not in a way of a ponytail and calling myself Harriet, but I couldn't say that if Dave was here, could I? But I have a few changes, like living in Newquay, Cornwall instead of Torquay now. So, but it's working out right. Funny that, Ben. Now, Ipple Dip is what we call it. It was the original training system that is used by police. I went through Ipple Dip, and it's teaching you a process as you go along. College of Policing insists that it's way out of date, and that it's just the implementation of the new system that is wrong, and that some training systems they need to sort it out and get it right, because people are having meltdown and they're leaving in their droves because of how it is at the moment there. So it's interesting you see Ipledit. I was really interested. So good luck in 4 weeks' time. Really good luck to you. It's fantastic times. Just remember, don't let the world. You're not going to change the world. Okay, so just make sure you do what you do well, and don't be pushed into doing too much. If you haven't finished a job properly, get the job done, finish properly. Don't just be too keen and help all those jobs unless it's life-threatening type stuff, of course, because you'll be overwhelmed. Oh, okay, Ben. It was a PCSO for 2 years before, so you'd have some sort of knowledge of what policing's like, and still didn't put you off. No, if I'd had to do the degree entry, I'd have stayed at PCSO. Not so currently still recruiting. A few forces are. College of Policing is insisting that they will be fading it out. And if you look at statistics really of people who have passed out through all the different training systems, Ipledit is still the highest by far, even though College of Policing say it isn't. Depends which stats you look at. Well, the ones that we did was, which is a brilliant guy. The ones we did was with Alan Wright, WRIGHT. He did freedom of information to actually find out what the actual details were, and he was found. I'm sure it was that Ipledit was by far the higher producer of police recruits still. So there you go. But that differs from College of Policing, so depends where you get it from and all that sort of thing. Or Countess T. Ringtons or Countess T. That's the main thing. Right, let's see what did happen this week. We had, I'll get my prayer book out of stuff we're talking about. Let's just share this screen a minute. Make sure I've got all my private chat. That's going to be a problem, isn't it? There we go. Glastonbury in this rain. It's going to be flashbacks to all that time ago, wasn't it? When it was all the mud and stuff. There you go. Farms of Fatal still available, and best-selling book, and Cornish Scoop, and I'm doing the Cornish Scoop part 2. Right. Feel free on Amazon. What have we got here? We've got John Sutherland. Here's a shout out. The Siege is out now. It is available, and I hear it's pretty good. Masterly by Peter James, UK. Gripping by Jeffrey Archer. Compelling, unputdownable. Thrilling, I barely stopped to breathe. Claire McIntosh with a big O. So it's good. I thought I'd do a quick shout out for John Sutherland there on that one. Now, and the other thing, right, here's the biggie. Can we put fingers to buttons and get nominating, please? We're delighted to announce that new nominations for 2022 Thin Blue Paw Awards, sponsored by AF Pet Insurance, are open. They are bloody good. I met them at the Do, and they were really good. So the categories: Outstanding Bravery, Life-Saving, Crime-Fighting Duo, Rising Star, and Lifetime Achievement. So Thin Blue Paw Foundation, remember this is dog handlers, and those are all those types of things. You can nominate your hero here, and this is where it all goes to. There you go. Donate. You can donate, or you can choose your awards, and this is how it tells you how to do it. All right, name your dogs and things like that. So best, I assume, to just make sure you get your list of dogs first, what their Twitter names are and things like this, and then you go from there. Alrighty. What have we got? Oh yeah, I was messing around with some search rescue. I've been a bit naughty. There were some good. I love the helicopter stuff. Have to admit, love the helicopter stuff. And this was one. This is an account worth following. This guys and girls. When I say guys, it means guys and girls, right? Even on my section, I was saying guys. It was guys and girls. Jonathan Mustard. He is Mustard. He's bloody good account, this one. So I suggest you follow him. Look at those wonderful views. Wonderful views of Shetlands with the search and rescue. It's basic. Flies over my house every day. There's one here, not the Shetlands one, but it's just so jealous. I'd love to have been a winchman or the pilots on those things and just going out into the heaviest storms in the Atlantic and things like that. They're phenomenally skilled paramedics, best paramedics you can get. The trouble is, I was feeling a bit naughty, and I messed around with the picture a little bit, mainly because I should have been doing some more work on this, as you can tell. So this was my first effort on there. So the roller coaster thing. Thank you very much. And this was my second. I couldn't get the full thing. Bit of Top Gun. This is the bit with the curly sand thing, but I just couldn't get it in. And then so feel free if you fancy a bit of Photoshop, that'd be good to get that one in. What have we got? And then there's a few things later on there that I was looking at. Yes, Ipple will stay. Right. Ipple will stay until after the uplift numbers are delivered. Then it will stop, we are told. Do you think they will get the uplift numbers in comparison to the people leaving at the moment? And it is, Nikki. Yeah. Good luck, Ben. Hats off to the new police officers. That is the worrying bit, is the officers that are leaving. When that needs to be stemmed. So it's tricky. It just needs more support by more bosses. Nick Hadley did one recently where he said that there was he gave the warrant card to the dog handler and dog unit that had just passed its training and things like that, and he said, "I'll get you breakfast and the trainer for your first arrest," and he got 2 burglaries. So he said, "I better get my wallet out." So good on him. That is leadership. That's great leadership. I said the frontline officers, knowing the bosses above actually give a poo. And I'm sure the breakfast wasn't the motivation for the arrest, but it shows the frontline, the bosses are noticing their successes. That's just so important that they don't just think the boss is there in the admin and doing the meetings and then just dishing out disciplinary and that side of things. It's so important that they realize, and that's one of the reasons I did Twitter. It was just as much to tell the public as to show the bosses what the ARVs, the armed response guys, were actually doing, like this one. We had Vernal Scott on this podcast, didn't we? He was a top man. Love Vernal. PC Nick Lewis of Nottinghamshire Police, selflessly, that's the important word, put himself at risk when on 2 separate occasions. So not just the one. That wasn't enough for him. He successfully rescued 2 distressed women from dangerous river waters. So many police officers have drowned doing just this. So it was rightly being nominated for its bravery award. I mean, because we've got all the sea around here, what you tend to do is a little dog will get caught in a river or go in the sea, and the owners are, so someone goes in after the dog and they inevitably drown, unfortunately, because they've misjudged the strength and power of the currents and things like that. And then usually the dog manages to get to land. So it's even more, that's such a common thing. That's the problem. I like this one. Mike Power Panic put on. Excellent news. Well done, Avon Somerset Police. Good to get decent sentences for violent cowards. This is exactly what needs to happen. This is to put off, because there will be inevitably, there'll be more riots where people think that that's safety in numbers, anonymity, they think. And look at this horrible person. So Francesca Horn spat at, kicked officers, struck them with wooden sticks, ripped a wing mirror off a police van. There she is, thinks she's absolutely free to do what she likes, pulling the wing mirror off, which technically is a door mirror because it's not on the wing anymore like the old days, But and it's nice to see. Will she get 5 years? 5 years and 10 months for a role in the Bristol riot. That's good. that's not bad under the circumstances, is it? And it's just so important to keep dishing these out, even if it's sometime after. Remember the London riots? Was it 2011? A long time ago. But where all that looting was going on and all that, and it was amazing how even like months and months, even years, they were still catching people. Mick, I have too. I've been winched up in here. I was lowered down onto a lifeboat as well. So got to do better than that. That's what I'm saying. Nick is awesome because he's the real deal. Yeah, he said someone on there, and then you've got a bunch of idiots who like to go, oh, I've got to pick you up on this. I don't normally. And it's like, oh, and then whinging about something he's said because it's something to just professionally be annoyed about. And usually it's the same group of people every time, isn't it? Oh, just annoying people, frustrating people who just have to think, right, where can I pick a hole in that? Where in that tweet? Where can I? And when I was actually serving in the police, I used to write my tweet out, and then I used to read it and go, right, I want to be offended. How am I offended? Is it a photograph? Is there something in the background of the photograph? And when you consider, it says I've done 92,000 tweets or something. My God, did I not have a life? Most of which were since and when I was off duty, because there's simply no time to do it on duty, to be quite frank. Then that's not bad. It only went badly wrong a few times. That's a few times between friends. Yeah, this one. Thank you for your support on that. I won't put too much on this. I think the message is there. The message is there. Someone somewhere out there is spreading the word. I am this, that, and the other on a daily basis. I simply ask those, and this is just the important thing for everyone. It's not for my specific case, but it's just so important out there. Because yes, my whole character has been ripped to shreds, and it's absolute lies and pathological lies, and they have shown no evidence, because believe me, the individuals concerned would be very happy to do screenshots and send it out there to embarrass me and whatever. And I know I have acted impeccably throughout, but there are a large number of people around this, not a large, but there's enough people around them that believe that I am now this horrible person. I'm putting out it here. If you think there's something and you agree with them, then put it on here, because I've acted as reasonably as I possibly can at all times, and I've kept all the evidence. I've got everything I need, and I'm very happy. And other people have looked over it, and they're very happy at my action. So all I would say is I simply ask those so easily convinced whether they have heard it from anyone but this one person. You know, if you're hearing information from one person, you're going to take notice of it, and then it's best to see if it actually is corroborated somewhere else, because there could be an agenda there, like on this case. So thank you very much, and thank you for your supports on that, likes and things like that, because I know when I'm saying that, you're now just taking my word for it. You know, and it's very difficult to prove a negative. It's very difficult to prove you're not racist. It's very difficult to prove that you haven't got some sort of, when you haven't shown yourself to be those things, it's very difficult to prove otherwise. But these things are here to test us, aren't they? But there's some lovely comments on there, and I do appreciate it. It makes me feel loved again. Right, I think there was the thing of stop search came up, murders up, stop search down. When will people learn not to listen to the people who shout the loudest, but instead, please just listen to the people who have actually something to say? And that, believe me, is not necessarily me. No, but I know exactly who you mean, and just as bad, quite frankly. There's an ex-cop on there, and sometimes the ex-cops are the worst, because when you drill down to it, how long were they police officers? And if they were a matter of months or a couple of years is your probation, is your initial policing. This is after training even. And you'd be very suspicious of people advertising that they were police officers. And remember the doctors as well. You can get doctors in a lot of things. So that's worth checking as well. And sometimes the police officers are the worst because they go away and they're disgruntled because they were rubbish at what they did and they couldn't cope with it. And yes, other people leave for other things. Okay, absolutely get that, and very respectable things. But these people who build this big performance of, I'm ex-cop, and they're constantly ripping into the police. It's jealousy and bitterness. And you get you see the same names together all the time. I've just blocked them now because they're just utterly boring. Look at this. I thought this was lovely. Nice to get a bit of good news, isn't it? So, kind and generous. This is from Alexandra Montgomery. Thank you, Alexandra Montgomery, because kind and generous. Whilst waiting for an assessment, I had two lovely officers who sat and played Pictionary with me and bought me a KFC. They don't need to do that. The stigma around the police has to change. I saw about 16 officers altogether, and they were all amazing. So thank you for that. That's lovely. And that was Northampton Police. And the Chief Constable personally commented to her as well, replied in that as well. So, that's nice. And we often hear it, that we hope that it's the help, because it is long-going help. It's long-going. People just need to, we all go through our low bits, don't we? I think I probably hit the lowest bit in March, I think, of this year. But I knew it would be fine. I knew I'd get through it, and there's some good people out there. And it sounds cheesy, but it's good to talk, isn't it? You know me, I'm shy about talking. I don't talk much. So speaking of talking, here's me, someone talking about me. There you go, Cornish Life magazine. So I vainly rushed out to buy it, and I don't think it was in the shops yet. It might be now, I don't know. But it wasn't in the shops. It was delivered to those who get it delivered, if you see what I mean. So there, Farewell to Firearms. It's home time for Harry, for High Action Harry. I'm high action. Especially after 10 o'clock in the morning, not a lot before then. There we go. So, I wonder what I'm there. So yeah, that's a Cornish Life magazine, which is which was fun. It was a fun interview. Why is that not working? Okay, stand by, everyone. Yeah, thank you very much, Jacqueline. That's very kind of you. People are guessing who it was, and it certainly isn't my ex-wife. I need to put that as well. It isn't my ex-wife. I need to put that, because somebody said, "Oh, is it your?" I'm like, "Oh God, no, it really isn't." So I'm just going to bring that Twitter thing up again. Apologies. And this is where I bring it up live, and it's got all my private messages with people because I have these rooms with specific people in there. And we talk about stuff, and we say, "Oh, do you know about this?" And they go, "Oh, yeah, I know. I've got a contact with that." And so it's a real hive of activity behind the screen. So there we go. All right. So Vernal has just come back with Vernal. See, that's it. He put a nice message here. Somewhere, and Vernal said, "Hi, you're human. It's never pleasant to be the subject of unkind attention. I can certainly relate. If you don't follow Vernal, make sure you do. He's diversity and inclusion manager at Essex Police." You think that's not a very exciting title, but God, is he a refreshing view of balance and just. Just a clear, there's people who just say it as it is, but in a very good way, in a very respectful way. But they don't just jump on one or the other side of the argument. And we lack that. And Vernal is just brilliant at that. This is Noor, both are brilliant at BP. You're so skilled. Thank you very much. I think that was referring to my. She's bad. She teases me on it. I have to admit. She's thank you, Noor. You're a star. Yeah, so it's can you tell me that stopped me in my tracks? That is right. Moving swiftly on. Oh, Mick, Are you sure it was a mock fight? Is all I'm saying. Are you sure they just didn't really mean to do that? Got knocked over the side of the RNLI. Just glad it wasn't over the side of HMS Hermes. Yes, because were you? I don't know. Were you Navy? Were you Navy? You must have been. Yeah, you were Navy then, as well as policing and that side of things. Legal action, the PFEW. So the Police Federation of England and Wales have done a phenomenal job, because the 6 officers had to wait 14 years. 14 years were paid 92 grand. And you think, wow, that's good. But actually 92 divided by 6 for 14 years of your occupation being put on hold. You're not knowing what's going to happen. You literally, your whole life stops if you're being investigated by the IOPC. Disgusting. There's some nice ones in there. Okay, there's some nice ones in there who do their job properly, but the actual overall thing needs just squishing and restarting. They get rid of some horrible, nasty people who claim to be police officers. So carry on with that. Do it well. Stop doing all the other crap, all right? Because that really, really annoys. There was over 3 unrelated cases that occurred between 2008 and 2011. And each one lasted between 4 and 7 years. And they were being, basically, the judge told them off, said, you have to apologize and give compensation now for completely wasting these officers' time. That's my quote. That's not their words. Read the exact thing for the details before they sue me. But it is, here we go. It's this one here. So, and it's good to see new Federation man is it's good to Phil Matthews, good Federation man there, new one. And he said, hopes that the police watchdog will put its house in order and address the deep-seated bias within its organization. It's a shame we can't even hide the fact. We used to be subtle about it, but we have to say it's a deep-seated bias, and it's against police officers. And again, we don't forget there are police, because I know people in PSD, and Nor before she actually worked within PSD, but there are some idiot people out there in the police who mess up and do silly things, and someone has to deal with that. And because they're human and they do stupid things, because humans do stupid things sometimes, especially in a 30-year career sort of thing. But there are some also criminals who wear police uniforms, and I say that because they have nothing but the intent to cause harm or dishonesty or whatever. And get rid of those. Cracking. Thank you. Do your job with that. So yeah. Yeah. Good. And here's a list of books. Sharon Devine. What a surname. What a surname. Sorry for being late. Just arrived at holiday destination. I know we're waiting for you. We couldn't wait any longer, Sharon. You know that. Come on, next time, on time. Got a few good books to read. Tornado Down by John Nichol. I got frightfully drunk with him very recently. A lovely, lovely man. And Tornado Down is a particularly brilliant book. First one I read of his. And The Cornish Scoop by certain Harry Tangye. My goodness, can't wait to read them. Yeah, that one's particularly good, I understand. So thank you for that. Yes, I got a new tooth. Oh yeah, it is this one. It's on the other side to the skin. There, it's not that one there, fake. You know, amongst all the stained others, I had to find a false stained tooth to stick onto it. So now I'm going to go and get my teeth whitened, and then that one there will be stained still. So yeah, well spotted. What are we doing for time? 4:30. 4:30. We've lost no more time left. We're doing half an hour because seriously, after half an hour, I even bore myself. And so Christ knows what you guys are having to put up with. I am going to do a little bit more when the weather gets a little bit better. I'm going to do a little bit more dog-friendly beach, Lusty Glazed Beach. They do private events, so a lot of the time it's closed, or sometimes closed. Getting inspiration for my book, and I even took a little glass of wine. Looked right alcoholic, didn't I? I went down with a little bottle of wine, little bit in the bottle of wine. Christ, oh God, just suddenly thought I threw the bottle of wine away and people must have thought I had a whole bottle of wine. If I'm really honest, it was probably 1 o'clock in the afternoon as well. So anyway, that's how the plot gets better. Get drunk. No. Ladies, gentlemen, if there's nothing else to be discussed, we'll end. Stephanie, some police good and bad in most forces. My family were cops and they see bad, good. And the ugly. And the ugly. They do. You don't want the ugly ones. They're even worse than the ugly ones. It's been an interesting half an hour, Meg says. I can read through that. That's fine. That's fine. No, I see what you mean. So have fun out there. Be careful out there. Thank you very much. Read these books. Join all the Twitter people I've said. Great reviews. Slightly aging from that one. And I've enjoyed it. Thank you very much. And don't forget to subscribe. If you subscribe to YouTube, you will subscribe to my YouTube channel. Then you'll be able to involve yourselves like that. You won't be able to do it on Twitter, even though you can actually see it, but you can't comment on Twitter. But nice to see you guys. Thank you very much for coming, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.